Chances are, like most people, art galleries don't sound like a thrilling, exciting day to you. The idea of walking through a gallery and looking at a bunch of paintings takes a special kind of person to enjoy, especially when it feels like they're all doing the same things in different colors. Look, I understand it takes forever to put these kinds of things together, but I wish it were less boring to look through. Sometimes people, though, find a way to break through the humdrum of boring art and create something unique and fabulous in their way. From someone who makes art with Microsoft Excel to an artist who creates his work with fire, one person on this list creates impressive works of art despite being blind. Art comes in all shapes and forms, and it's constantly changing. Do you have a unique way of doing things that you think might change how people view it? Let us know down below, so maybe we can give your method a try. For now, come and observe, and subscribe to the channel while you're at it. And let's dive into our list of the most amazing and unique artists across the world. Tatsuo Horiuchi draws with Microsoft Excel. Most office jobs out there require knowledge of Microsoft Excel. This shouldn't come as any surprise. It's a baseline program that we all have to learn how to use, or if you're like me, at least pretend to. Well, someone understood the assignment, that person being Tatsuo Horiuchi from Japan. His art is different than most because he's taken knowledge of Microsoft Excel and created a whole new art form with it. What started as a desire to make and a desire to not spend too much on supplies, so he used his computer in the most creative way possible. You can buy art from Horiuchi from his website. If you want one of these unique pieces, don't worry. Now, I can appreciate loving your job, but loving the program you work with? It definitely couldn't be me. Miguel Endara creates art with millions of tiny little dots. Now, all large pieces of art are created with small strokes, but tiny dots? Miguel Endara out of Miami uses a technique called stippling in his portraits to create highly detailed portraits. Stippling is the art style that uses dots to create artwork, gathering and spreading them out to create highlights and shadows. Still, unlike other techniques like pointillism, it uses its monochromatic palette rather than a similar yet colorful style. He went a bit viral on a video of him recreating a picture of his father with 32 million dots, creating quite a buzz around his work in the process. The thing about it is, he's self-taught. During boring classes in college, Miguel began stippling out art on the back of his notebooks instead of taking notes. What a good use of his time. Leandro Anandro Granado uses his eyes to create art. Understandably, Leandro's family was hesitant, to say the least, when he explained his desire to pursue his art. It's beautiful when someone can create something, just a bit disconcerting when the vessel for creation comes through the eyes. A heads up to those who might be a bit squeamish in the audience, but this man's methods are a bit unorthodox, snorting paint and squirting it through the tiny hole between his eyes. It's a skill. Granado had to learn to do this on his own, and the art in question is unique, but I'm not sure I could stomach watching the training he underwent to be able to do this. They say artists are eccentric, but this is too much. Giovanni Contardi makes portraits out of Rubik's Cubes. Eccentricities aside, it's impressive when someone turns a single skill into multiple. Some people can solve a Rubik's Cube, and some have an artistic eye. Some people have a fantastic cross-section of both. The overlap between these two skills is so narrow, and yet Giovanni Contardi continues to impress. He knows how to precisely move the cubes in a Rubik's Cube to create the exact mixture he wants, creating giant, unique portraits out of them. Sometimes, these portraits take up to 6,000 individually rearranged cubes, and some people struggle to do even one.
The last cube is always something special.
Steven Spacek paints with fire. Honestly, some people hog all the talent though, which good for them, but it's always astounding to find some new combination of skills that someone out there has perfected. And when you find the perfect collection of talent and skill, you can create something, or carve out a place just for you in the art world, as Steven Spacek has done with his fire-based paintings. He's inspired by fire, he says. It's symbolic and meaningful, and Spacek uses the soot of candles to shape his artwork, along with bird feathers, brushes, pens, and other tools. There's a certain spontaneity to the art. Working with fire isn't exactly predictable. Bringing fire closer to the paper, he can't know how the result will look. He says the technique came to him in a dream. He woke up and knew precisely what to do, and he hasn't stopped since. Since then, it's been 17 years, really learning to fine-tune his new craft and create artwork that lasts. Steven makes something magical and unique even with the limited palette. The restraints are what elevate it. Mark Wagner creates art illegally, out of money. Art can be made out of anything. That's the whole point of collage artwork. Indeed, you haven't seen a collage like this. It's not just glue and some craft paper. These peculiar collages are, in fact, illegal, if you'd believe it, just as destroying legal tender would be. It's in that strange legal area of art as creation and destruction in turn. He uses $1 bills to create his highly detailed collages because he says money is the best material on the market. And we can't stand to complain about it, not really, even if the art is a particular brand of destruction.
Most popular piece of paper on the planet, the Bureau.
Alexander Fardo creates street murals with a chisel. While destruction is usually almost the opposite of art, in some ways, sometimes it can be both. A street muralist out of Portugal, Alexander Fardo creates out of this destruction, chiseling away at the sides of buildings and walls to shape his art. What he leaves behind are gorgeous pieces of art, whittling away at the structure until it bends to his will. He uses a mixture of chisels, chemicals, and power tools to achieve this effect.
This is just a simple programmation.
Lee Hanbo creates sculptures out of paper. Art is sometimes more than it appears. Lee Hanbo promises precisely this with his sculptures. When you first see his art, it looks like it's been chiseled into marble, hard and cool stone. Upon closer reflection, what you'll find is that it has been carefully put together with folded pieces of paper, intricately placed one upon the other. They can be pulled apart to create an exciting effect, almost like seeing something glitch out in real time or drooping apart a slinky. Though all sculptures are unique and beautiful in their form of art, Lee creates something unique and all his own, creating his own space in the art world in the meantime. Simon Beck uses snowshoes and math to create art in the snow. While most of the works and artists on this list create something unique and permanent, having made something, you don't want to see it disappear. Simon Beck challenges this. He creates something that has only a short time to exist. Simon Beck calculates with math in the snow and draws his masterpieces with his snowshoes. His precise movements and exact and calculated steps can create quicker than the snow is falling. This comes from his background in engineering, work that's precise and calculated. Who thought math could make something all the same? It's breathtaking to see and something that if you blink, well, you could miss it. John Bramblett paints despite being blind. Art is in the eye of the beholder, but it can exist beyond the sight of it. John Bramblett is living proof of this as he creates his art while blind. He's known as the #1 blind artist globally and one of the only muralists with murals in both New York and Dallas. It's a unique mixture of raising the canvas lines and altering the consistency of paint. That way, he uses his sense of touch to create what his art is to become. He would run workshops to teach people to see the world as he does and open their minds to their imagination rather than the limitation of their sight. He lost his sight when he was younger, but never let this be a limitation, creating well beyond what he'd seen in his life based on what he could imagine. Art is something profoundly personal and yet also uniquely unifying. A good piece of art can move people, incite a feeling, and unite opinions. It doesn't matter if it's a unique style of art or something taught in classrooms across the country, creating is an exceptional talent no matter who's doing it, how they're doing it, or what their limitations are. These fantastic artists push boundaries and challenge what we understand as art, but there will always be more to come. Someone will always be the first of something, the first person to put things together, and we'll be ready to admire them then too. Now, if you like these videos and want to see more, then make sure you leave us a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on post notifications to be the first to watch all our new and exciting videos. I will be replying to every comment on this video as well, so good luck.